Okay, this is another video about some of my work done with the number 8 Cirkut camera, and I'm going to show two of them that include grain bins. The first one is called Grain Bins near Hebron, North Dakota, done in 2002. And one of the things I've done over the years with the camera is look for subjects that curve towards the camera. If they're in a semicircle towards the camera, they appear straight. And this was an ideal situation. It was late in the day, and I was, I think, heading toward Richardson, North Dakota, trying to get a room, and I came upon this scene. And the reason it was ideal is because I was facing east, so the sun was behind me, so it illuminated the grain bins, but the grain bins were relatively new. I don't know, they're probably a few years old, but not. They still had a lot of shine to them, and so they reflected the sun, had a kind of a silvery look to them, and they were arranged in a semicircle. So I was able to just find a spot in the middle, and the only thing I can say is I don't think the camera was completely level. There's a slight bow here going down, but what I'll do is I'll go through it kind of slow here. Maybe I should go one out here. And I've done a lot of grain bins because they're arranged in all kinds of patterns and shapes. And I'm going to show you another one here. Now, there's a slight bow here. Like I said, Cirkut camera bends horizontal lines, but not vertical lines. All right, it's a really long one too, by the way. I'm going to go to another one. I have to go over here. Let's see if I find it here. Here it is. This is Grain Bins near Hays, South Dakota, done in 2007. And once again, you have a slight bow of the grain auger. It's basically a horizontal line. And one of the advantages I have of working in the Great Plains is I can actually walk out into the scene itself. What I mean is, I was positioning the camera probably right about here. I could have, say, put it here. If I'd put it here, these two objects would have been close together, or I could have gone over here and everything would have been stretched out. You know, I would only have three subjects. This would have been way on the end. I looked at it and I decided this was it right here. I included some space on the side to give a general idea of the openness of the, the great thing about this area is it's vast open space. It's really great. Now, the people that moved out to this place originally, a lot of them had mental health issues trying to live out there that was called prairie madness. They couldn't take the isolation, and it affected mainly, I think, women. They just couldn't handle it. I was in a cafe once and talking to this woman. She said, "There's plenty of bachelors out here because no woman wants to live out here." When you get really far out, it's like 60 miles to the nearest grocery store, and it's different kind of life. If your main thing is farming, and that's what you want to do, well, this is probably a great place to live. Uh, I did visit one interesting historical, or I should say, a homestead that was being restored by some volunteers, and I talked to them, and they told me that these people who lived there immigrated from the Ukraine. So when they came over, they knew exactly what to expect, and they did great. Uh, Most people have like a severe culture shock when they first moved out here. They, they just couldn't handle the weather. They didn't understand. They didn't expect the winters to be so bad, and the people that lived in that interesting homestead had an open coal seam on a hillside. They could just go out with a pickaxe and a bucket and get coal, and they were able to heat their house that way. But there was a lot of people that came out here that really just couldn't handle it. And if you ever want to see a really good documentary on the whole situation, The Plow That Broke the Plains is a great one. And it was the cinematography was done by Paul Strand, very well-known photographer. And you can find it on YouTube. It's called The Plow That Broke the Plains. Well, I guess that's about it. I'm going to let it go at that. Thanks a lot for watching.